we are pleased that we were able to carry over some of the things that we worked on in practice based on the Illinois game. I thought our activity was really good in the gaps. We supported the ball handler, the defender guarded the ball. And I didn't think we played exceptionally well, but we did play very connected. We shared the ball. We took care of the ball against the #1 turnover forcing team in the country. So overall, we did a lot of good things. Quick turn with St. Bonaventure on Saturday, but as we turned the page, we did some good things and learned from last week. We looked a little fresher. We looked like we had a little more pop. So with the week off, I think we accomplished some things.
The first thing that immediately popped out to start this game was the defense, especially after allowing a lot of points from Illinois. How would you describe the defense that you guys played in the first half to propel you guys to victory?
Well, we were active, and when we went back and looked at the tape, Illinois simply tried to space the floor and drive us just play one-on-one basketball. And they did a good job of it, but we weren't very disciplined in our gaps. We weren't very disciplined with our personnel awareness. And so I thought our guys were really on it. And we had more time to prep. We had a longer prep time. It was a home game, obviously. So there were some built-in advantages. But yeah, we improved in that facet.
Coach, FIU was kind of giving you guys some problems with the full court press and the trap. But I noticed after they hit those back-to-back threes, the whole coaching staff is just chilled and not fretting. Obviously with a lead, but is that kind of just allowing the team to work through these things and allowing to see these coverages, so they can apply that later down the line?
Yeah, I thought we got a little bit loose for just a few minutes. And now just reflecting on the game, I thought the last 4 minutes was probably as rewarding as any to see the group of guys that come in that don't get a lot of time in the games and play good basketball. Those guys looked good. They shared it. I thought they had great force and power around the rim. They did a lot of really good things. But as we try to be our best, as we search for our best, and that may not be the best shooting percentage or the best free throw percentage, but as we continue to try to be our best, we need to have a very mature approach for 40 minutes and play without look at the scoreboard at times, where we just get lost in the game and playing good basketball. And I thought for about 32 to 35 minutes we did that tonight. So yeah, I mean, overall pleased, but yeah, they got tired. We stopped beating a few passes against the press. We got a little bit loose. So it was a good reminder that the fundamentals and the details never go away.
I mean, how big were those 3 straight three-pointers from Brandon Weatherspoon to just get you guys back on track to start the second half?
Well, you have a nice lead at half. I think we were at 23. Was it 23-20? Yeah, we had a 23-point lead, and then if you come out flat and they score 6 or 8, the game could feel a lot different. And so with Spoon knocking those down, but most importantly, I thought our guys played really good basketball. And they shared it. They took what the game gave. They created for their teammates, and I thought all of them were wide open, basically paint touch or rhythm threes. And Spoon did what he does. He knocked them down. But I thought it was a result of his teammates and himself playing good basketball.
Yeah, Coach, signature win, 64% from the field, 50% from 3, but then the free throws. What do you think is kind of contributing to this free throw slump that the team's in, and then how can you guys improve this going into the next game?
Probably, we've had a couple games where we haven't shot them well in the first half, and I would say it's probably people talking about them too much and thinking about them too much. I think if anyone that studies elite performance, the more you think, the worse you typically do. And so, the reps are important, the practice. We're going to continue to shoot pressure, situation free throws and whatnot, but I prefer our guys to step up and trust the work they put in over the last 18 to 20 years or whatever the case, and knock them down. And then, there's no team that shoots 100%. You're going to miss some, and we can't overthink it.
Coach, back to Brandon. He's been a little bit quiet the last couple of games. Did you guys have to feel the need to maybe encourage him to be a little more aggressive, or is it just a function of being who you are?
He's always aggressive. I thought the ball found him. He took what the game gave him. Against Illinois, I thought he found a couple good looks, and he turned them down for great looks. One in the second half, I think there was a driving drift. He caught it in the corner, and Elijah's guy kind of late rotated, and he kicked it to Elijah. Elijah had a horse shot, or a wide open shot, and it didn't go down. But I think that's the beauty of our team, where there's a lot of guys that don't. I mean, I don't know if Gaffney shot a 3 tonight. He shot 1 3 tonight. Early in the game, and he's shooting 55% coming into it. And so all of our guys, we want them all to be aggressive in the flow of the game. And I think the unique thing with us is we have 5 talented scorers on the floor at all times. So we don't really want anyone out there being over aggressive where they're hunting shots, because then that's going to mess with the flow of the game, and we don't have to anymore. There have been times since we've been here that we've had to have guys force a couple shots, and you don't want to turn that one down because we're not going to be able to get a better one. Well, we're very confident now we can turn down a good one, because most of the time, because of our players, the way they play, we can get a great one.
Dustin, when you went by 34 points and shoot as well as you did, what is your teaching moment in the locker room afterwards? You play that well, but you can still improve. Are you more, nice job, that's what we can do, or these are the things we can do better?
By nature, it's always, these are the things that we can do better. And we have a team that handles, I don't say failure, because we never fail. We're always on to the next thing, but we have a team that handles adversity really well. They bounce back, they're resilient, they don't get down, they're about the work. At times, we have guys that don't handle success near as well as we do adversity. And so we don't ever want to pat ourselves on the back too much. We want to analyze why we won, why we played well, what went well, what didn't, what can we learn from it. But it's usually on to the next thing. That's, it's not football where we're playing 10 games. We're playing hopefully 35 to 40 games this year. So, it's take a couple learning lessons, good and bad, and turn all focus towards preparation for the next game. And it's a way you can get lost, where you can look down and your record could be this, and you really don't have any idea, because you're simply focused on preparing for the next opponent and the next thing.
With the kind of schedule you're playing this year, the marquee games you have, is the rhythm of this season different than the previous seasons you've had here?
For us, we typically have to play money games anyway, so we don't usually have a lot of home games. We've been fortunate, we've been very creative with our schedule, where we've kind of created an MTE early on. One kind of fell in our lap when we were supposed to play in Ireland. We got, the last time we played St. Bonaventure, so we found ways to be creative to have some home games. So for us, it's pretty similar to normal, except because of where we are now, we're able to get neutral site games. We typically did some road games and high majors, we've been able to get them on neutral sites and play these classics and events. So it's different, but yet the travel, the flow of it is a lot different. And obviously the level of competition is much different.
And just to follow up, when you have those kind of games, and you have the kind of games you have coming up, are these the kind of games that the team has to really be focused and not thinking ahead, behind, whatever?
I think let's say hypothetically we're able to beat Illinois and you have a week off, there is a tendency for young players to maybe take the foot off the gas and have a let up. With us losing our last game, we felt very confident that our guys are going to be determined more than usual this game, because like I said, history shows that they bounce back. But that's our guys respect St. Bonaventure, they respect Arizona, they respect Florida Gulf Coast. They know that, especially this year, over mountains are more mountains, and we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to grow and improve. But very encouraged by the guys that are out of the rotation right now, that they've stayed ready and they played really good, really well.
Two more questions.
Today, the NCAA and the lawsuit came out that players can play right away after transferring twice. I mean, how does that kind of add to the chaos of building a program and as far as building a good program?
It's obviously something that's different. Me personally, I refuse to complain about any of it. As a whole, I think coaches, we're always going to find some constraint that makes your job or profession imperfect. And so whatever it is, we'll adapt, we'll adjust. I do fear that, I know how difficult it is. I transferred in college, I lost credits, and it's hard to matriculate and things like that. So I can't imagine how players are going to transfer multiple times and still graduate, but I'm also not an academic advisor, and hopefully they figure it out. But yeah, for us, we enjoy the continuity, we enjoy the relationship and growing with our players. So it doesn't affect us as much as some, but I'm sure that we'll have at some point a two-time transfer for whatever reason, and we'll welcome into the NOW program and family and try to help them as much as we can.
Coach, a little bit of a slow start there for Elijah Martin, but he was able to pick it up with a great second half. Talk about that, what that does for his confidence going forward.
Yeah, I think he played really well in the second half. He wasn't trying to draw fouls. I think sometimes he's a planner. He thinks, he plans his day. He plans his evening, he knows what he's gonna do next Sunday or next off day, or whatever the case. And so I think sometimes he might even plan the game a little too much, instead of simply just going out and getting lost in whatever happens and trusting the work he's put in. So we're challenging him just to go out and take what the game gives him, not to try to draw fouls, not to try to make this play, just make the play that presents itself. And when he does that, he's very effective. I thought in the second half, his cutting has been phenomenal this year. You see how many times Vlad and G get illegal screens this year. I mean, most of the time it's been, we haven't had good setups and good cuts. And Elijah got most of his shots in the second half as a result of being a great cutter. So he brings a different dimension to our team. And we have a lot of unique players that really need to just settle into what they do great and continue working on their games. But I thought Elijah did that in the second half.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.